record this call as well. Jim, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Tom. And as Tom mentioned, I've had several years of experience, quite a few in all these spaces. Been building about 20 years, been a licensed managing broker for about 12. And I think most of you would probably agree that, you know, all these spaces are pretty fragmented. You have the builder group, you have the real estate agents, and there's not a real common platform that brings them all together and allows them to work together in a real synergistic way. So what we've done here is we've brought together all the different groups in a new construction transaction. And the idea is to benefit all the different parties. And the specific benefit for the real estate community is that it allows you to market proposed new homes on vacant lots and teardowns without having to have somebody buy those vacant lots and teardowns. And normally a builder would buy and then they'd go ahead and market their own product. In this case, you're able to leverage the power of our platform to market proposed new homes on those vacant lots and teardowns, and then get the feedback from the market and make the appropriate adjustments in your marketing. So we dial into the right product and hopefully have a successful transaction that can earn you commissions on both the land and the new build. So we'll go ahead and we'll get right into the content here. We are basically a real estate and marketing technology company. Consisting of industry leaders in construction and lending, as well as a lot of the suppliers in the process as well. And like I said, we built this ecosystem because we have all these fragmented pieces. And, you know, the most recent NAR magazine came out, I believe it was the July-August edition. It actually specifically references, the title of it was Not Enough Homes. So we know that there's a housing shortage, but we also know that there's a lot of vacant lots and teardowns. So, you know, here in our market in Illinois, we have over 10,000 just in our MLS. I know Massachusetts has at least 7,000 vacant lots, and these numbers don't even include the teardowns. So when you take the teardowns into account plus the vacant lots, we're talking about on average 20 to 25% of the total housing inventory on the MLS. So we're talking about a lot of properties that are just sitting there idle, not being marketed the way they could be marketed or leveraged the way they could be leveraged. So that's what we're talking about doing here today. Ultimately, what we do is to create a better experience for the consumer. More often than not, a consumer enters this process because they like a piece of land. The land is owned by a builder, and they end up building with that builder. And it's, you know, kind of academic whether or not that home is ideal for them. It's what the builder's offering. And usually they don't have much of a choice. They have to take whatever the builder's giving them. And there's not a lot of discovery in that process. There's not a lot of Q&A in that process. It's pretty much just the, you know, the builder doing what they want to do and the client having to deal with whatever that process is. So what we're trying to do is create a transparent process, one that gives the client choice and allows them to speak with multiple builders and ask the questions that really should be asked when you're making this kind of an investment. And ultimately, what this platform is doing is it's helping revitalize and rebuild our communities. And that's really one of our core missions as an organization. New construction doesn't need to be an affluent-only type of product, right? There's no reason why two people making $20 an hour can't buy a brand new home. It needs to be the right home with the right land situation, but there's a solution in new construction for every financial demographic. And we're firm believers in that. And it's what's taking new construction out of the affluent category and basically making it available across the board to all consumers, regardless of what their spend is. So that's one of the missions for us as well. So again, we're bridging these four groups. We got the home builders, the real estate professionals, the lenders and the settlement service providers, and then of course the suppliers and vendors who provide product during the new construction process. So what we do, and Tom, you know, hit on this perfectly, we market proposed new construction on vacant lots and teardowns. And what that means for you is if you normally have one listing for a vacant lot, you now have the ability to have two listings. So you have your vacant lot, and then you have a combination listing, which is your vacant lot and your proposed new home. So we're going to help you expand your market offerings, which is really a courtesy to your seller as well. All the sellers we've talked to are thrilled that their property is being marketed 2 different ways instead of just as land. This is also going to help you increase your commissions. So you're not only getting paid on the land, you're getting paid on the land and the build combined. So you're talking about 2, 3, 4 times. We had an instance recently where it was about 15 times what the commission on the land only would have been. So it's a significant lift. The whole idea is to turn these low closing lot listings, and lots do not do a good job selling by themselves. And every year we see these lots struggling to sell more and more and more. And I asked a lot of people the question, and I think the answer is today's consumer is very much so dialed into technology and instant gratification. Right? If they can't find what they're looking for in very short order, they just abandon the process. So when you tell somebody they need to buy a lot and hire a builder and get an engineer and find out where the sewer and water is and calculate the permits and figure out how much it costs to demolish the old home, and the list goes on and on. Any one of those could be a trigger point for them saying, no, that's too much, I don't want to deal with it. So what we're doing is we're actually taking this inventory, which is struggling to sell right now, and we're turning it into a lead machine for you. So you're going to get leads, obviously, on both the land and the new opportunity, but that new opportunity is going to be at a significantly higher dollar value because you're talking about a home and a lot combined. And all this is going to spur the economic growth that we would like to see in our communities. Just like I mentioned in that NAR article, you know, we are in a housing shortage right now, and the solution is everybody who's on this call right now. You are part of the solution to how we can address the housing issue. Because if 1/5 of every property in the United States is a candidate because it's a vacant lot or a tear down, that means literally there's over 1 million properties all over the country that are ideal to market proposed new homes at different price levels based on the market. And those are all untapped opportunities right now. There's nobody in this space. And because there's nobody in this space, those who adopt early and become the new construction specialists are going to own the market in these respective channels. So the home builders and remodelers, I get a lot of questions about where do we get our builders and remodelers? Well, they are thoroughly vetted through the BBB, through credit, through complaints. You know, we check all that. Our national partner does a 72-point data check, and that includes the permit records of the respective builder. So it's pretty easy for a builder to say, sure, I build a lot of homes, I'd like to build your home. But if the permit data says they've been remodeling basements for the last 10 years and they've never built a home before, we know how genuine that builder is. So that permit data has tremendous value. That's really telling the tale of who's active in this space and doing well and who is not. So there's over 200 million permits in that permit database. So it really allows us to do a really nice job of vetting out the contractor and also making sure it's the right contractor for your client. In some cases it is, some cases it is not. All of these builders work a little differently. And instead of just taking a client and matching them up to the builder, we want to have a conversation with the client about what's important to them and bring in the right builder. And not just one, but a couple of them. So ultimately they're going to make the decision who to work with, but we're going to know it's a good connection either way. The builders we work with have to have transparency in their pricing and their features. Otherwise, they cannot work on our platform. I know in my market, we have quite a few builders that they might charge $500,000 for a home in one neighborhood, but then when they build that same home in a more affluent neighborhood, all of a sudden they don't charge $500 for that house. They charge $570 for that house. That's not our builder. That's not somebody we're going to be working with on our platform. They have to be transparent and fair in their pricing in order to work with us. A lot of those builders are supplied to us by realtors. So if you want to go ahead and bring a builder to our platform, we'd be happy to talk to them. We actually give them a preference because if they've been brought to us by a realtor or by a partner, we value that relationship. We know that your reputation is important to you. So we want to make sure that they get a very, very hard look. And if they get vetted out, they could be on our platform just as easily as any of the other builders that we have on our platform. That second to last point, committed to working with the real estate environment, we know what that means. That means they're willing to pay commissions. Okay, and again, if a builder is not willing to pay commissions to a real estate partner, they will not be in our platform. And those builders commit upfront through our platform to pay 4% of the build. Now, how you divvy up the 4% is up to you. You can say 2 and 2. You can retain 1.5 and offer 2.5. You can do the opposite. That's completely up to you. But our job is to make sure that they agree to pay those commissions and that we give you the opportunity to earn those commissions by giving you the marketing materials and the information you need so you can become the specialist who markets this product in your respective market. Right now we have about 175,000 in the builder network, and that is growing. So there's no shortage of qualified builders we have to work with for your clients. So the realtors, and this is really the most important piece in the entire process. This is the gasoline in the engine. And, you know, those first couple bullets up there really speak to how important the real estate agents are in this process. We absolutely have more information today at our disposal than we ever have before, right? A lot of our clients can probably find out more about a property than we could just going online. But yet the more information they have, if you look at the statistic here, 87, 88, 89, the more information they have, the more they work with realtors. And that's because the premium is not on data and information. The premium is on knowledge and counsel. And that's what we bring to the process. And the more information a client has, the more they actually need a real estate agent. So despite the fact that there was this thought that real estate agents are going to go away and they're all going to be bypassed in the future because of all the information that's available, truth be told, the opposite has happened. The over data, over information society has actually made it so we need counsel more than ever before. So real estate agents aren't going away, okay? And I know a lot of the new technologies that are out there, and you know, we have a technology platform. It is patent pending. It's about bypassing the real estate community in some way, shape, or form. Well, right now you can see those stats. If those technology platforms want to go after the 11% that's not working with a real estate agent, they can be my guest. We're working with the 89% that is, okay? And we make sure that it's well worth their time to work within our platform. The agents have the market knowledge. They're the trusted advisor for these clients through the process. And although they might not have every answer, they know where to find every answer. And this is where we found a disconnect, is that not many people know where to find information regarding new construction outside of just calling a local builder. And if you call a local builder, you're going to get local builder information. You're not necessarily going to get the guidance for your counselor or for your client. I'm sorry. Because that builder is going to have their own take, but it's not going to necessarily be an objective one. So we want to be that resource when it comes to new construction that you can always go to if you have a question, because your clients expect that, right? We play a lot of different roles as real estate agents, and we can't know everything, but we sure know we need to know where to find the information. That part we owe our clients. So, you know, we play that role to make that easier for all of you. Lenders, I'll touch on this really quickly. These are all best-of-breed lenders. They've been doing this a long time. They're both local and national partners. They do a 1- and a 2-step close, and we get more into that in the new construction specialist certification class. But essentially, it allows them to close up front before the home even goes into permit on the home and the lot together. And when they do that, they can disperse real estate commissions up front. So the beauty of that is you don't have to wait a year for the home to get built. You can get paid for the lot, you can get paid for the build, and all of it can happen before the home even goes into permit. And we get that information in greater detail in the NCS class. Our vendors and suppliers also provide nice discounts as well to the people that we work with, and they pass those discounts on as a benefit of the realtor. So the latest one we have here in Chicago is giving $100 gift cards to every agent that they want to pass on to their clients. So basically it's a gift from the agent to the client, no minimum purchase, just a flat out $100 to go select whatever flooring products they wish. And we're building this network of vendors and suppliers, so when it's all said and done, you'll have a wonderful package that you can give a buyer or seller and say, thank you for doing business with me, and it'll have tremendous value to it, and it's going to be presented as something coming directly from you, but something that won't have a cost. okay, which is really nice of our vendors to do. So it is really not a very difficult path to get these consumers thinking new construction, and in the process and in the mindset, it all starts with imagery. So there's a reason why we give you front elevations and interior photos and all these other different things, because we know that imagery is going to spur emotion. Someone's going to feel like they want that kitchen. They're going to feel like, you know, they want to sit around that fire in the wintertime. And that's where the discovery starts. That's where they start to ask the questions. I wonder if I can afford that kitchen. I wonder how much a new build would be. I wonder how long it would take. And once those questions start getting asked, that's when they start moving towards decisioning. And people who probably weren't considering building a new home before, all of a sudden are building new construction. And as our housing market gets more and more constrained, the option of building a new home is becoming more and more viable and more of a consideration. So we want to be a part of that process. So the Lot2Home program, and that's the program that we run here, is the new listing opportunity in our business. I truly believe that is the case. When your vacant lots and teardowns represent over 20% of all listings on the MLS, we wouldn't even be in a housing shortage right now if we had 20% more inventory. and we can fix that, right? We can take vacant lots, teardowns, and turn them into attractive new priced homes. Okay, so tremendous opportunity. And those teardowns can be in good shape, they can be in bad shape, right? Just because it's a cute little freshly painted 700 square foot ranch doesn't mean it's not a teardown. The rule is 10%. So if the value of the land and the home together are within 10% of the land alone, that property is a candidate for the program. Okay, it'd be a good teardown candidate. And it should be marketed additionally like this if it's possible. I think all of us do this. We get into this in great detail in the new construction specialist training class, identifying highest and best use. I was recently at a panel, actually at ARIA in Boston, and one of the questions that they asked me on that panel was, where do you get your opportunities? And I told them, I don't go find opportunities, opportunities find me. And what I meant by that was, every single property that crosses my eyes, I'm looking to find out if it's a single home on a double lot. Okay, I personally bought properties for $300,000 that are a single family home, and they happen to be sitting on two $250,000 lots. But the agent just missed it and priced it as a single family home. The potential to subdivide land, okay, the ability to rezone, the ability to assemble. These are all opportunities that are probably crossing our desk all the time. And it's not about going out to find them, it's about being very diligent and making sure that you're looking for the things that some other people might not be looking for. And we get into that in great detail in the NCS class. But there's just a ridiculous number of opportunities out there just waiting to be capitalized on if you know how to look for those things. And they're not always high demand areas. I know in our area, and I think this is the case in Massachusetts as well, you have your more affluent neighborhoods, and the thought is the new construction is happening in the affluent neighborhoods. But the appetite for new construction and the appetite for plug-in, move-in ready is so insatiable right now that people, a lot of them, they'll go to the town next door to the town they want, right, just to get the new construction product. So it's important not to think that, oh, well, you know, I have these half a dozen towns that are in my mind that I should consider. Every single vacant lot or teardown with the right product is a candidate. And when you think of it that way, it's an immense opportunity. So this really is a multiplier. It allows you to take two listings instead of one, a vacant lot as well as a proposed new home. Now that's going to double your leads, right? You're going to get your leads from your land, and then you're also going to get your leads from your new construction package. The new construction package leads are the people that want to spend $600, $800, $1 million, whatever it happens to be. Those leads are pretty valuable, right? They want to spend a lot of money, and chances are they're not first-time home buyers, which means they have something to sell. So now you have the ability to possibly take a $200,000 lot and move $1 million package, and then get the listing for the people who are actually going to be buying your $1 million package because they got to sell their place, right? So you just took a $200,000 lot and you could have turned it into a $1.4 million combined sale. And that's a multiplier effect that you get when you're working within the program. we say that you double the chance of conversion because you have 2 listings on the MLS instead of 1. Well, the truth be told, statistically, you're actually tripling it. And the reason that's the case is 63% of the time, if you have the same address being offered as land and as a package, 63% of the time, people are buying the package. They're only going land only 37%. And that's getting more and more skewed every single day. As more and more people don't want to go through the acrobatics of identifying the cost and worrying about finding the architect and the builder and the permits, and as more and more of our society gets plug-in instant results, right? That 37 is going to go down to 30. It's going to go down to 25. And that 63 is going to go to 70, 80, because everybody's going to be buying homes this way as opposed to buying homes the old way where they buy the lot and go through that whole manual process. It's just the way consumers are wired these days. It's not just millennials, it's all of us, right? Millennial behavior has become consumer behavior. We're all behaving this way right now. We pull out our phone, we want to see something right away, we don't see it, we're on to the next, right? So we have to have a plug-in solution for these folks. So really you're tripling the chances selling when you look at the statistics. On average, the commission is 3 times. We just had somebody who listed lots at about $35,000, $40,000 in our market, but they're selling $600,000 homes on those $40,000 lots. Well, now you're not talking about tripling or quadrupling your commission. You're talking about 15 times the commission you'd get just selling a lot. So it really takes what might be deemed as not that attractive in just a piece of land and makes it really attractive. And the sellers see over a 50% reduction in market time. So in the Chicago market here, our average lot takes 316 days to sell, and we are selling that in our program in 146. So we're doing a courtesy to the seller, we're benefiting ourselves, we're selling it twice as fast, and we're selling it for more money. Because if you have a client who wants $100,000 for a lot, for example, instead of constantly reducing the price as it sits on the market, when we have somebody engage us wanting the $500,000 package and they want to lower the price of the package, we're going to say, let's make modifications to the house. We're not going to say, let's reduce the price of the lot, right? So we want to maintain the integrity of the land, and we want to work with the new construction offering. And by doing that, we're doing even an additional service for our sellers because we're maintaining the integrity of the price that they want us to get for their property. So here's a quick example, $200,000 lot, $5,000 in commission, closes in 6 weeks. The $650 package, commission goes up to $16,250. Takes about 2 weeks longer to close. So these transactions do take a little longer, but commissions being paid at close are being paid up front. So again, you're talking about receiving commission checks well before the home even goes into permit or they break ground. This is an example from our market here in the Chicagoland area. This is actually a transaction that happened last year. $275 for the land. She was going to get $68.75. Mary went ahead and listed the package at $829. Her commissions were $20,725, and the variance was a $13,850 lift in the commission. Okay, so how do you incorporate this into your listing presentations? Well, I've trained and worked with a lot of real estate agents all over the country. They all say the same thing. Your ability to differentiate yourself from everybody else is what makes the difference, right? The specialists. The specialists, if you're a doctor, the specialists make the money, right? The practitioners, the general practitioners, they don't. So it's important that we have people that are specialized in this space. Right now, we have almost 50% of all home buyers interested in new construction. So think about that for a second. Almost 50% of all home buyers in America, which is over 3 million, and there's nobody servicing them. Here in Illinois, there has never been a new construction specialist certification. There's no CE. I don't believe there's any CE in Massachusetts. As we've looked at different markets, we've found there's no CE, there's no training, there's nothing. So I'm still a little bit shocked when I talk about this, that the largest segment of the entire home buyer population, and we have nobody really trained to service those people. So that's really what this is all about. It's about taking the largest demographic in our entire group of house buyers and being a specialist and being able to capitalize on the immense opportunities in that segment. Okay? But being a real estate agent is the most commoditized profession in America. There's more of us than any other trade. right? So you got to find a way to separate yourself. Over 2 million people running around with a real estate license right now in the U.S. And of course, there's a housing inventory shortage, and that makes the demand even greater for the skills. So, you know, becoming a new construction specialist really allows us to take advantage of the 50% of home buyers who are looking at new construction. And they could be shopping a new construction home already built. They could be interested in building, right? Either way, having the NCS designation is a tremendous benefit to help understand what their needs are, ask the right questions, walk them through the process, and in that short couple-hour class, you'll know more than 99.9% of the other agents out there in that space. And that means something when you're talking about dealing with this large of a segment of home buyers. Okay, so less than 1% currently are NCS specialized. And that training isn't just working with home buyers, it's working with lot sellers, right? So you want easy pickings, take the NCS class and start calling lot and land cancels. I would be shocked if you didn't close it over 70%. Because they've already agreed to work with an agent. You know, they signed a listing agreement, right? But whoever they worked with before probably wasn't marketing this way. Because when you market this way, not only can you market a proposed new home, but we change the offering as much as you want us to change the offering, right? So it allows you, and we get into this in the NCS class as well, it allows you to put what you think is the best offering out there, get the feedback of the market, and then you can say, all right, my home should be bigger, smaller, first floor master, 3-car garage. Whatever feedback you're getting, we make the adjustment, and then we can go ahead and change out the offering as often as it needs to change out. And eventually we're going to get a contract, right? And that's when we know we got it right. But we don't just put an offer out there and let it sit there for months and months and months. We put an offer out there together with you, and then we change it as often as we need to change it based on you getting the feedback from the market. And if you're listening to the market, we'll change the product appropriately, and we'll make sure the right product is put on there. Okay? So it's a different way to get a listing. You know, when you talk to a seller about marketing, you can say, we're going to go ahead and we're going to market your property. Right now, you can say that to somebody who's selling their land. But how many people can say, I'm going to market your land this way, I'm going to put a specific offering out there, and as I get feedback from the market, I'm going to modify my offering to exactly what the market asks for. And that will give the highest probability of getting a sale. That's the story that people are not telling when they go do a listing presentation on a vacant lot or tear down. And that's the story we want you to tell, because it's going to get the listing for you almost every time. Okay, so we cover that in the NCS class as well. So really it's the new frontier. There's nobody in this space. It's shocking to me, but it's true. Nobody's out there doing what we're talking about despite the massive, massive amount of opportunity. So the NCS class really is to master the basics of new home construction and buyer education. Okay, we're going to help you find the sellers who are interested in selling vacant lots and teardowns and match the correct offering and property that's going to best resonate with your market, show you how to do that, show you how to conduct a discovery session. Okay, so that's the process where you go through and you do a needs analysis and find out what's important to the buyers. Nobody does a needs analysis in this business. And the reason why is they go talk to a builder. The builder's not going to ask them, does anybody in your home have allergies? Do you have pets? How long do you plan on being in the home? Do you have light sensitivity? Are you interested in green building? They're not going to ask any of those questions. And the reason why is that builder wants to build the same home they built last time. They don't want to build a special home for every client. But nobody's helping the client identify their needs in that scenario. So we're flipping the process around, right? We're starting with the needs and finding out what's important to the client, and then we're making sure the right builder is brought to match the offering that attracted them to the program to begin with, right? It's a new way to do this, but it's the right way to do this, and it's doing right by the client, okay? We want to incorporate the proposed new construction into your listing presentations. We're seeing them close at over 90%, right, when they've been through the NCS training. And then we want to market using listing management intelligence, right? You've all heard of artificial intelligence, right? A system takes information, it processes it, and it outbounds its information and its messaging differently based on the inbound, right? That's really what we're talking about doing here. We're talking about going into a listing presentation and saying, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I know you're looking to sell your land. I'm going to use listing management intelligence, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how I take market feedback and modify my offering based on that to produce a superior result. And like I say, that's going to be a big difference maker when you're out giving listing presentations, because that's not a story that's being told very often. So if you're interested in taking the NCS class, right, we'll make sure that you get an email sign-up link after this class. Tom can go ahead and send one out to you. You can also go to the Neighbors website and sign up on the Neighbors site. That's just neighbors.org. The class attendees, they do receive a NCS certification. It's good for 2 years. We also send you the certification that you can put in your auto signature and your business cards. Okay, and then you'll also be able to join Neighbors, which is the National Association of Independent Builders and Real Estate Services, for free. That organization charges $49 a year for membership, but you will get the membership as part of the NCS class. So you're getting the $50 value free on the Neighbors membership. And that's really the organization that brings together all these pieces as a nonprofit and is working to educate the community on the value and the merits of new construction and renovation. Okay, and of course, as an NCS agent, if we have any internal opportunities in our own network, we go to our NCS designated agents to field those, because we do have a lot of people that actually come straight to us who are interested in building. They start with us because they know we're going to run them through the right process, instead of starting with a builder who's not going to do that discovery that we're going to do. Okay, so I tried to keep it as condensed as I could, but I know it's a lot of information. And, you know, if there's any questions I can answer, you know, I'd certainly be happy to do that for you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. All right, folks, hopefully that helped you a lot about what is going on that's possible for you. I don't know about you guys, but here's your opportunity for the 20 of you who are on this call to basically get a jump start and add vacant lots and tear down homes to your listing portfolio, not to earn just one side of the commission, but to earn 2, possibly 3 sides of the commission. And, you know, there's 1.3 million realtors out there. This program is rolled out exclusively for you guys. You're not going to find it anywhere else except here. What's totally important, which I'm not sure if you guys caught, but for me personally, what's really important is now we can go after all of those expired land listings, expired ugly homes listing, expired lots, and show the seller, the owners of those land, a real viable option where we can market their property. And after the training, we will teach you how to find the buyers as well. And then when the buyer gets to pick out their model home, and we hook them up with the reputable builder who's fully insured with performance bonds and everything else, when that paperwork gets done, you as realtors get paid at that contract signing. That is totally different from any other new construction that I know of, where agents don't get paid until the developer or the builder turns over the keys and the client turns the door to move into their building. Is that right, Jim?
You're absolutely correct, and unfortunately, sometimes they don't get paid at all. So, you know, because, you know, having everybody in agreement up front on what the structure is a difference maker, because now there's not the fear of the go-around, right? You have the platform where everybody's coming together and working together for the benefit of the client, and that's ultimately the way it should work, and unfortunately, it hasn't done so to this time, really, until we've been able to put this together, and it's kind of changed the rules.
That's right. Awesome. Okay. So, questions. Who has questions for us? Anybody have questions for us?
Where do the builders come from?
Well, they come from our partners. So in other words, we have suppliers and vendors and realtors that recommend builders to us. But we also have our national partner, which that's the one that has over 175,000 builders that they work with. And they take the top 20%, and those are the ones that are actually eligible to work within our program. The fine-tuning process from there is based on that discovery session. So we want to find out what's important to the clients and make sure we're matching up the right builder based on their needs. So for example, we have some builders that when it comes to an allowance, they say, For your siding, pick ABC, right? For your plumbing fixtures, pick A, B, or C for a toilet or a sink. We have other builders that they just open up the floor and they let you choose whatever you want in the world, right? As long as it's from one of their, shops or suppliers. Those are the questions that we want to have in our discovery session. So we're making sure that we're matching up clients with the builders that make sense. Because more often than not, whatever builder they grab out of the blue isn't going to be the best match for how they want to build their home. And it's really about customizing the home building process for them, as opposed to they fall in love with a lot at 123 Main Street. They got to build with whatever builder owns 123 Main Street. And I'm sure, you've probably all seen what happens if they don't build with that builder, right? Well, if you want to buy the lot from the builder, you can, but what's going to happen to that price? It's going to be through the roof, right? So that builder's going to make his money on that lot one way or another. That's not the best interest of the client. The best interest of the client is giving them selection and the builder and the process and being able to choose any lot on the MLS. And that's really what we're doing is we're making new construction accessible to everybody in every market, to all these builders, all these models, and all these land pieces. So we have a solution for everybody.
By the way, on the group chat, I see some of you are in your cars and stuff, so maybe you don't have access to the group chats, but for those who are in front of your computer, open up your group chat, and right in the group chat is the link for you to register for the new construction specialist designation class, which is being held this coming Tuesday, October 19th, from 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, for 2-hour course, okay? That link will give you a discounted registration for the class of just $50 instead of the normal $99. So that class is happening on 11/19. And for those agents who are based here in Massachusetts, after you pass the class, I will go ahead and post another event where I will basically have a private event for all those graduates so that we can do a roundtable and meet in person here in Boston, so that we can share with each other how we are successful. Hopefully there'll be success stories and people are able to go out and get listing appointments and basically put their training to work and get listings, and let's put some homeowners into some new construction. Okay, so that's what's going to happen next. Anyone have any other questions? And if you're done with this call, feel free to hang up. We don't have to. We don't want to keep you any longer than we have, but we'll stick around for a few more minutes to answer any more questions.
Tom?
Yes, Lucy. Bill.
Yeah. Bill. Can you give me that link? I didn't quite hear it. It was a little bit muffled on 11/19.
The link is in the group chat. And for those who are in their cell phone or in their car, please make sure you joined the Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search for a group called Lot2Home. L-O-T, the number 2, Home, H-O-M-E. Lot2Home. Go ahead and request to join that group, and I will approve you. And then you'll also find that link in the Facebook group, Lot2Home. It is a private group. You have to be, I have to approve you for you to join. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
What other questions do you guys have?
Hey, Tom, it's Marissa.
Hi, Marissa.
Hey, so besides the Tuesday call, are there any other dates and times that will be available to take the specialist certification class? I know when I was talking about the opportunity at yesterday's state meeting, there were a few folks that wanted to join it, but didn't have that time available.
Sure. Go ahead, Jim. Yes, we have future dates. Jim, you want to announce that?
Yeah, actually we run that class essentially twice a month. So this conversation we're having now happens weekly, and it alternates between Tuesday and Thursday. And the actual NCS class is every 2 weeks, so we have them twice a month. So I don't have the schedule in front of me right this second, but we can certainly get an email out to everybody on this call and let you know the December dates. But we have 2 scheduled for the month of December as well, despite the holiday.
Yeah, I didn't want to put that out there now, but yeah, after today's call, I will go ahead and post the next event up there with the right links for you to register. Okay? Jim and I will work out and get that posted for you guys. Great question. You guys, if I were you, I would not wait, because guess what? As soon as my team gets this training, guess what we're going to do the next day? Assuming Jim passes us. We're gonna pound the
I'm sure you'll be fine.
we're gonna pound the phones and go after listings, vacant land listings, baby. My goal is to have 30 listings in 30 days.
I think you could do that, and you'd have a few in the pipeline in fairly short order. You can guarantee it. You get a lot of buyers that way. You know, one of our partners is the president of the North Carolina Association of Realtors, Asa Fleming. He took 2 listings that were on the market for over a year and a half, just dead land listings, nothing happening to them, put 2 new proposed construction homes from our program, and within 72 hours, he got 8 buyers, all looking to spend $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 apiece. And now he's working with them in other capacities. I think he's worked on one of the 2 subject properties, but he's representing them on, you know, their other purchases. Sometimes it's not the fact that they work with this particular offering, but it connects you to a very affluent buyer, usually, you know, prepared to spend a good amount on a new home. So at the very least, it's a lead machine. But, you know, quite often you have the right offering, you're going to be able to sell the whole package of the subject properties. Though.
Yep. We're going to have a great spring, baby. Great spring.
Can I?
Absolutely.
Yes, go ahead.
I signed up for the class on Tuesday. I had canceled a training that I had with the Conservation Commission because I'm on the Berkeley Conservation Commission.
Sure.
And I've already signed up for Tuesday. Would it be possible for me to switch it to the next class instead so I don't miss this training as well?
Yeah, sure. You can do that for you, honey. Yep.
All right, cool.
Can you please email me and remind me, please, because I might forget. So email me. You have my email, and we'll switch it for sure.
I will do that.
No
Awesome.
problem.
Thank you,
Yep.
Tom.
You got it. Okay. Anything else, folks?
If we already got a ticket for our Tuesday, are we signed up?
Excellent. Yes, I think we've already got, I don't know, 17, 18 people signed up already. So, which is awesome. Okay. Any other questions? All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for your time. Your 2020 is going to be absolutely rocking and rolling and amazing. You're going to be able to double or triple your real estate income by adding this to your portfolio. Jim Pesavanto, I appreciate your time. Great job once again, and we will see you on Tuesday for the training. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Tom. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Tom.